Hello and welcome to Just the Basics. On today, I'm going to show you how to declare a room type, or excuse me, a room, and what you can do with the information that's in it. So the first thing you want to do, we've gone through and we've got some walls and some doors and different things in. So we want to now start declaring our spaces. Well, the old-fashioned way was you went and you got text and you clicked in the space and you typed in what it was. Well, that's not how rooms work in Revit. Revit is a database, so now a room is a component that has a lot of smart parametric features to it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to, of course, go to architecture, if you're not already there. You have to make sure you're in a plan view. And you're going to come over here to where it says room, right above the room and area section. And I'm going to click on room. And watch this. Notice what it does. I'll put my mouse inside of a space. Revit reads the bounding area of the space, and it does it by reading the walls. And I'll explain that here in a little bit as well. And then you can now declare the space. I'm going to go ahead and click inside of this space. Now, just a few things to keep in mind. This space that I just clicked in is actually 3 spaces in one. So there's actually 4. So there's a little bit of work I still need to do, but I'm going to keep it like it is, and I'm going to show you how to break it down. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click this space. This is my garage. This is my mud room. And last but not least, this is my half bath. So I've got those spaces in, but now I need to tell it how do I break up this other great room over here? Well, I'm going to go to the next tool over, which is the room separator line. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to now start to break it down. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my line tool, and I'm going to draw from where this natural boundary is for me down to the other wall. Now, obviously, yes, I'm going right through my door. I don't necessarily want that. I'm going to move my door down because I don't want it in. I want to set this up to be a nice even space. I'm going to go ahead and do a right click and cancel that, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take it to this wall right here. So now I'm separating these 2 pieces. This is my kitchen. This will be my dining. This is my great room or living room, for lack of a better term. But I'm also going to put in one more space. I'm going to separate it from here to the door, where I'm going to let this be my foyer slash stairs area. So now you'll notice I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel a couple times. And I'm going to go back to room again. You'll notice when I go to do that, to place my spaces, these spaces have now gone white again. That means essentially the room has not been declared. So I'm going to now come through and I'm going to put these new spaces in. So there's this space, my kitchen space, and of course my stairs slash foyer space. Maybe we call it hall. Maybe you could call it circulation. It's up to you, whatever you want to call it. So now that I'm finished, and I am going to go ahead and take this door and I'm going to move it over so that there's a clear separation there between those 2. Now I want to call out my spaces, and I'm just going to do this one first because this is probably the one that probably makes me go crazy whenever I see it spelled wrong in plans, and that's the dining area. So I'm going to click the word room, and actually I had to select the tag first, then I'm going to click the word room, and I'm going to put in its name now, and it's D-I-N-I-N-G. That is how you spell dining, okay? You'll be surprised how many times I see that spelled wrong in plans. Then all I have to do is just hit enter, and there it is. I can now go through and I can change it in each of these other spaces as well. Besides changing it on the plan, the other place I can do it is I can actually click. You see how this X comes up as I put my mouse over it? I can actually click the X that goes to the room. If you'll notice, there's all this information that shows up over here in your properties box that is attached to this information. You use this for when you're doing room schedules, maybe when you're doing material takeoffs, when you're doing any type of room calculations, maybe for heating or air conditioning or insulating factors. Here you go. Now this room has more information to it. So what I'm going to do So what you can do with this information is I can actually come over here and I can change the info here as well. Like this essentially is a great room. And sometimes I'll leave the word room off of here just simply because it's just more information that's sitting on the drawing, so we don't necessarily need, we know it's room. So there's no need to put it on your drawings. After I put in great, I'm going to hit enter. And not only is it going to show up over here in the properties box, but as soon as I move my mouse, it's over here on the drawing as well. Excuse me, just something to pay attention to when you're putting rooms in. Just realize that as you're putting rooms in, it's tagging and numbering. And if you want it to, if you don't want your numbers to be all over the place, try to come up with some type of rhythm or pattern where you're going from one into the other and the numbering is making sense. It just, you know, so you don't have to go back and do a whole bunch of work later. But, you know, all you have to do is just continue through putting in the rest of your tags, and you now have declared spaces or declared rooms. I don't want to use the word space because that's actually something different in Revit in your model. If you have any questions, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up to date with other parts that come out in this series of Just the Basics. And it's just like that. Thank you.